Yasha graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, my alma mater as well. We also have a couple other badgers out there. So anyways, he graduated with a degree in Russian and music composition. And currently he's in Kazakhstan, in the city of Almaty, studying ethnomusicology and composition. So he will be performing, actually I'm going to have you introduce the pieces if that's possible.
Sure. Yeah, so I've been studying this instrument, the Dombra, which they're currently miking, since September. Kind of like an aside on my Fulbright journey. Just, a mentor told me to recommended that it could be a great way to, get more insight about the culture and about, how they teach music. And so it has been a great way to do that. So I'll be playing 3 short pieces tonight. The first one is called Jastar, which means youth. Ooh. The second one is Kilinchek, which is bride. And then the third one is called Sekirtbe. And so I hope that it transports you to a land that's not quite as warm as this. Maybe you can envision the horses galloping across the flat steppe. Yeah.
All right, we'll catch up with you on the other side. Give him a warm round of applause, and yeah, take it away. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind bringing that back here. This being one of the most famous folk instruments of Kazakhstan, can you give us a little bit of an anatomy lesson with this instrument?
That's gonna be great. I think it's like a pretty standard necked lute. We have 2 strings on it. This decoration that we see, I think normally what happens is each master, who's an instrument maker, will have their own kind of branding by reproducing this kind of design. I personally really like this one. This isn't, there's a lot of different levels of Dombra, as you might imagine. Like there's a lot of levels of violin. This one costs around $100. It's around like a middle of the road one. So but I'm very happy with. It looks really cool.
I think so too.
Yeah, and then I can't actually tell you what kind of wood it's made out of. I'm not sure if there's like a specific traditional kind of wood that is traditionally used. Definitely look into that.
Yeah, but I also noticed throughout your performance you were using a lot of different techniques, like different things with your hands. I mean, obviously different positions too. But can you tell me a little bit? Is that like part of when someone's learning Dombra is to learn how to experiment and really use the instrument in a lot of different ways?
Yeah, that last one actually was all these my teacher has taught me. It's not like I said can we learn this one that one was like a contemporary, the composer of that one is still living, and so she was like, oh, this could be fun for you to learn. Yeah, there's a lot of techniques, the songs are called küis, which is the name of the instrumental repertoire. And so with each new küis that I learn, she incorporates some different kind of techniques. So there's a lot still left to learn that I'm excited to for the last months of my grant. Yeah,
that's really impressive though, starting in September and wanting to share that with us tonight. That's really awesome. So. Throughout our conversation, you also mentioned that there's quite a unique legend that goes behind how the Dombra became one of the more famous Kazakh instruments. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so the legend goes that back, in the 12th centuries, a little earlier, when Genghis Khan was ruling the lands with his Mongol hordes, his son, I don't know how many kids he had, I think he had a lot of kids, but one of his sons was out hunting, and he was hunting for this type of, Central Asian deer that kind of roams around. And on this hunt, he got killed. He got in an accident, his horse bucked him off, and he died. He snapped his neck. And so there was a law, I don't know who wrote this, I guess Genghis Khan, that whoever, brought the Khan, the bad news, he'd have to be killed, specifically by getting hot lead poured down his throat. So of course no one wanted to tell him, no one could tell him what happened to his son. So finally one musician thought, okay, let me carve this thing out of wood, and he strung 5 strings on it, and then he went to the Khan, and he started playing this beautiful, sad melody, which it exists, I guess. People play. You can find it on YouTube. It's a very nice melody. And after he had played it, he understood what had happened. It was a very tragic song, and so the news was brought to him. But he said, okay, so this bad news was brought to me. Someone has to go. But since you, the musician, you didn't open your mouth, I can't punish you in this way. And so he decided to pour the hot lead down the Dombra, and the hot lead snapped 3 of the strings. Thus we have the 2-stringed instrument.
Yeah!
Thank you for that. Let's give him another round of applause. Thank you so much. Yeah.